There we go. Okay, so they did that overnight. Um, Hi everybody, John Harris here from the Cheap Seats, and we are in the Public John studio. We're actually in the cafeteria of the Public John studio, but I am anyway. Billy is on location, checking things out and traveling around. So this is our I guess 2024 NFL extravaganza show, where we are going to pick who we think is going to win and all of our standings for the divisions and the division winners and the wild cards. After that, we're waiting for the playoffs before we make any of those picks. Unless we want to just eventually come out and say who we think will win, but that we'll leave at it toward the end. And hang on till the end, because we will make our pick for Thursday night football this week, Buffalo visiting Miami. But before we get to it, let's get down to some business here. I want to talk about our sponsor, Violent Realty Corporation, with my friend Dennis Ingraldi, 634 East Landis Avenue in Violent. If you have residential or business realty needs in the South Jersey area, Dennis is the guy that you want to talk to. Him, his crew, they're very attentive, and they will dig in and get you the best deal possible and find out the property that you need. Or if you are looking to rent something or buy something, Dennis and his crew will help you out. So that's Vineland Realty Corporation, 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland, New Jersey. Their phone number is 856-690-9482. Pop on in. Tell them folks that we sent you from the Public John or from the Cheap Seats, and they'll help you out. All right. So we thank Dennis for all his support, and he will understand immediately if I say it's showtime, time to get to business here. So you ready, Bill?
Yes, sir.
I figure we'll start with the NFC East. Your teams are Dallas, Philadelphia, Washington, and the Giants.
Yeah, before we start that, I'll just do like a moment of silence for the 9/11.
Oh, absolutely.
People here.
As we're filming this today, we're not sure when you'll see it, but we are filming it on 9/11 today. I'm okay with it, quote unquote, not being a holiday, because it's not really a day to celebrate. But I really do think we should figure out a way to make it more of a remembrance of some kind of a day. It was if not the most devastating day in our country, one of the top 2 or 3. This one, Pearl Harbor, devastating days in our nation's history. Unprovoked attack, killing citizens, not even military people, and of course it led to a lot of other things afterwards. So we thank all of the heroes and all of the first responders from New York City and the people that responded there to help them. And we need to thank them every day for what they do, not just the ones obviously in New York. They would be the first ones to say, first responders everywhere. Thank you for, it's not just your quote unquote service. That's become a cliche. My thing is thank you for your sacrifice. You and your family sacrifice as well. When you go out there on a call, they don't know what's going to happen to you.
Right.
So thank you very much for helping your sacrifice. And you're right. We should have at least a moment of silence. And let's give it a moment of silence, Bill, for the 9/11 folks. Okay. Thank you guys for bearing with us for a minute, but that's important, and that's something we needed to do. All right, Bill, thanks for bringing that up, Bill. I wasn't sure how to fit it in, and that's
didn't mean to throw you off there.
No, you didn't. You helped me, because I was trying to figure out how to fit it in and get it in, and it's better to just let people know how we feel right off the bat. So all right, let's get back to some business, because that's what everybody would want us to do. So NFC East, Bill. I have Dallas winning the division. Believe it or not, I did go against Philly here. I do have Philly who's going to make a wild card, so I have Dallas, Philly, Washington, and the Giants in that order.
And I had the same exact thing.
Okay. NFC and reason for that, I think Dallas, now that they've signed CeeDee Lamb, they've got weapons on both sides of the ball. Zeke actually looked pretty good last Sunday. So,
Yeah.
and now that they've signed Zach, everybody's happy in the fold. They gave him an extension as well. Everybody's happy in Dallas. Jerry's made everybody smile. And I think they're going to go out there. Philly against the Packers. Really, if you think about it, if it wasn't for turnovers, I think would have dominated that game. Hurts had 3 turnovers, 2 picks and a fumble.
Yep.
I really do think because it seemed like the Packers, even when they were close or had a small lead, were always fighting for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, Saquon Barkley might be just a touch better than Miles Sanders. No, Saquon Barkley was the real deal.
Yeah.
That is a big, huge signing. So I think Philly's going to be explosive, but I still think Hurts is prone to too many turnovers, and they got a couple weaknesses in the defensive secondary. Especially they had an injury the other day too, so that might not help either.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Hurts, and I never was. Yes, she's been pretty much better than bad, but I don't see the consistency and the I guess the superstar type level of quarterback.
Right. Elite, yeah. I'm not sure he's elite. He's good, not elite.
Right.
I think that's the best way to put it. Washington, I like Jaden Daniels. He's trying, but he just doesn't have weapons, an offensive line, and the defense isn't as good without, but that might take time. I mean, Dan Quinn's cleaning house.
Right.
I think this year they could end up being close to a 500 team. I mean, they can't be 500 because it's only 17 games.
Right.
They could win 7 or 8 games, I think, this year. I think they're going to be tougher. And I like Jaden Daniels. He looks tough kid.
Yeah.
But the same thing, he ran
too much.
And if he has to run that much, you don't know how if he's going to make all season or not. And the Giants were pitiful.
They're just pathetic, and it goes with their stinking uniforms are just hideous too. I mean,
oh God, maybe they just didn't want to disgrace the old ones. I don't know, because man, they're supposedly retro from 1920s or something. They need to send them back because they're awful. But then the Giants were awful. So. I guess it matched. So NFC North, we move on. I have Detroit winning the division. Green Bay will make a wild card and finish 2. Minnesota and Chicago. I think that's going to be a really tough division. Remind of the old black and blue NFC Central division. I think Green Bay, without Jordan Love, is going to lose a couple of games. He's only going to be out, they say, 3 to 4 weeks. If it's in that ballpark, if they go 2-2, they should thank their lucky stars.
It's hard to pick the Bears or the Vikings. The Vikings look good, but they played the Giants.
Vikings didn't look bad, but they played the Giants, so you don't really know. And Chicago, everybody was giving them the hype, but I just don't know if Williams is ready yet.
Yeah, so
it's gonna take time.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I almost put the Vikings up out of the Packers because of the Love injury, but
right.
But we'll do the same thing.
Okay, gotcha. NFC South, Tampa Bay. This is the order I have them in: Tampa Bay, New Orleans, Atlanta, and Carolina. Tampa Bay looks pretty good. Now, don't get me wrong. Who are they?
Yeah,
they're playing Detroit. That's going to be a great game.
Yeah, and I was never a Baker fan, but I tell you what,
kind of was, but I'll tell you what, he really is coming into his own in Tampa Bay. I really believe that.
And
And New Orleans looked good too.
yeah, yeah,
So, Atlanta, everybody had the hype on Atlanta. I'm not buying into the hype yet. First year coach, new quarterback. Cousins looks hurt.
yeah.
Looks like he's playing hurt already. Uh, so I think they've got some issues to worry about on offense. And Carolina, no,
They're
just
not good.
no, they're not good. Oh, I think I'm not gonna go to Carolina.
So once again, I did the same thing. So
Okay.
we don't have any difference yet.
All right. I will mark that down. And last but not least, the NFC West. I have and the top two are going to be tough, I think. But I still have the Niners as number one, the Rams number two. The Rams played tough the other night. I think Pakua being out.
Yeah, Nakua being out, but
Yeah, Nakua,
Cup had like
Puka.
20 targets. So I mean, that's
Yeah, yeah. And he's going to be out for a few weeks, it looks like. So,
yeah. So Cup's going to be the old Cup again.
yeah, the man. Yeah, but he took over that game. They almost won it because of him. So.
Yeah,
So I went Niners, Rams, Seattle, Arizona. People were
yeah, and the
talking about
same.
Arizona doing something too, and I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
no, and I got the same thing.
okay. And AZ, there we go. Okay, AFC. Well, we could do the division winners. So that makes both of us say that it's Dallas, Detroit, Tampa Bay, and San Francisco.
Correct.
They'll be, and then now wild cards. This is where we could differ. I took them in this order to finish.
Okay.
Because I looked at schedules and stuff like that. I took Philly, the Rams, and then Green Bay. Green Bay is making me iffy because of the injury to how bad is it going to be to Jordan Love.
Yeah,
If it's tough, then Minnesota might slide in there if they keep playing well, or New Orleans.
yeah. I got the
Now,
Saints. I got the Saints over the over the Packers only because of the Jordan Love injury.
okay, so you got Philly, LA, and New Orleans.
Yes.
Okay, in that order.
I didn't put them in any order,
Okay,
but yeah, that's fine.
I like it. Well, only because sometimes it gets you a little bit higher seed if that's how you
Yeah,
fit,
yeah.
how many wins and all that. But okay, and there we go. All right, AFC. Let's tackle this baby. We might differ here, even though I picked Miami to win Thursday night. I'm taking Buffalo to win the division. I'm taking Miami as a wild card. So it'll be Buffalo, Miami, the Jets, and the Pats.
Same thing.
Great minds, Bill.
Yeah.
And one thing, while I'm jotting down your predictions, is folks, the reason we do this, even though it sounds like we're picking the same thing, Bill and I do it two different ways all season long. Billy looks at numbers, he looks at players, but he also looks at numbers. He's more of an analytics guy than I am. He looks more in depth at matchups and things. I just use a basic eye test. I'm basically the guy on the couch eating the wings, drinking a beer, or I go to Buffalo Wild Wings or go meet some guys downtown, and I'm that guy that just goes, "Look at them Lions, you know. Look at that freaking run. Hey, honey, you got any more buffalo sauce? Yeah. Give me another beer, give me a cold one." That's me. Bill gets into it and really so but we're both very close and we both beat Vegas odds with two different methods. But that's why we kind of do the show the way we do it. So it is kind of ironic that we are picking the same teams because that usually doesn't happen either. Usually there's
Right.
a couple of minor differences, or well, more than minor. But so far, I'm seeing a trend here, Bill. I'm seeing that you're coming to the visual dark side, I think.
Yeah, well, I think the next couple of divisions will be different.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I think one of them that I picked will.
I could almost predict what you're gonna do, and you probably could predict what I'm.
Well, I may be on the same page as you here. In the AFC North, this might surprise you, but I took Baltimore,
I got Baltimore.
Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh. I
Oh,
might flip-flop Pittsburgh and Cleveland.
wow. Yeah, I got the Steelers and the Browns because I tell you what, I
Really?
I the Browns defensively they were good, but Dallas just
Oh,
beat
showed it.
them, beat them,
Well,
and what's the name? It's Watson is just
I'll
terrible.
tell you, I'm about
What?
to change it. I wrote this a couple days ago.
Yeah, Watson is terrible.
He's terrible, and he may get shit canned by the NFL.
Yeah,
Or Cleveland might be able to get out of that
Cleveland
contract
better.
due to morals.
Cleveland better hope that because they could get rid of this guy.
Well,
And,
they've already came out, Cleveland, and said, we will abide by the NFL's ruling. Because you know what that means? Please, God, please, Mr. Goodell, tell us that this is terrible behavior and he gots to go.
Yep.
Because we'll go, oh, all right. Save us 160 some million dollars over the course of, all right, we'll void his contract for moral issues. Yeah, we'll take a hit this year, but we'll start looking for a new quarterback for the future. You know, that kind of thing. So they're hoping. So my inclination here is because of all that and how bad they looked, I think I'm going to switch Pittsburgh and Cleveland.
Yeah, I think I mean I thought Cleveland. I picked them last year to win the division, but yeah, they're Watson's. You can't have a quarterback like that.
Oh, and he has not shown anything in Cleveland since he's been there. Nothing. Awful. They need to come up with something.
Yeah,
guys were making points during the week, and they said, "Well, he doesn't have this. He doesn't have." Said he's got the same identical thing that Joe Flacco, who was sitting on a couch last year, got called to come in and play for them, and after a week, of learning the system, came out and took them to the playoffs. Joe, I have no wheels, Flacco. All right. I'm not picking on Flacco. He's obviously a very serviceable, decent quarterback.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, there's your advantage. You went out and spent all this money for a guy, and he's just terrible. So, yeah, so I'm with you. I'm going Baltimore, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, then Cleveland.
Okay.
Now, is that what you got?
So, yep, we're the same then.
Yeah, I feel bad, but originally my instinct was to go Cleveland, but and this is why I said it's better to do it. At least let's get a little eye test after week 1. But the other part is the news part too, that he may not be there that much longer.
Right.
So, AFC South, Houston, the Jags, the Colts, and the Titans. This is the one I could see us different on somewhere.
Yeah, I just got the Colts and the Jags flip-flopped.
Switch. So you got Houston, then you got Indy, then you got Jacksonville, then Tennessee.
I just like Richardson a lot better if he stays healthy. But
yeah, he did look good the other day. He did impress me the other day. I admit. I didn't expect him that much from him, and he did look pretty good.
I mean, their run defense was terrible. Mixon ran 150 yards on them, but I don't know if that's a one-time thing or if it's going to be
Houston's a good team. I mean,
yeah,
so I mean, it's no slouch there. So, all right. So I guess outside of the flip-flop there, with the Colts and the Jags, we got a pretty good deal there. And hey, great play, but if ETN doesn't fumble near the goal line, the Jags are probably going to win their game.
Yeah, yeah. And ETN, he didn't play well. So
no, he didn't play well. So he gets untracked. Watch out for the Jags, I think. AFC West. I still got to stick with the Chiefs, and I know I'm a Chiefs fan. It's like the Eagles. I'm an Eagles fan, but I still think Dallas is better than them. If I thought somebody in that division was better than Kansas City, I would pick them, because our picks and our odds, we look at it as money. Money's different than heart. I mean, I can sit here and root for Kansas City, but if I think I'm going to make more money picking Vegas, I'll do it. But that being said, Bill,
Yep.
I
That's the
am
first time of the year saying
It's the
that.
first time of the year. Ding, there it is. That being said, Kansas City, I have winning the division. I think the Chargers are going to be really pretty good. I think they're going to be number 2. Vegas's defense is going to keep them in the hunt for a while, but I think their offense, without losing Jacobs and struggling a little bit. Minshew kept them in the game last week, but it looks like he's going to have to hook up with Devontae Adams a lot, and then Darren Waller retiring.
Yeah,
none of those things helped them. So, but I have Vegas third, and Denver is gonna suffer a little bit because they're starting Bo Nix to get his experience level up and see what he's got.
yeah. I got the Broncos and the Raiders switched. As much as I like the Raiders coaching staff, but just they're not. I think Adams will be traded by midseason.
That you could be right about. Yeah,
And
he wants
the
to go to the
Broncos aren't bad. I like their running game. They're a little weak on receiver, but I like
and
their
the defense
defense.
keeps them in games.
Yeah, so yeah, I got the Broncos and the Raiders.
Okay. So I got you. Kansas City, the Chargers, then Denver and the Raiders. Okay.
Correct.
All right. So division winners, I have Buffalo, Baltimore, Houston, Kansas City. That's exactly what you have.
Correct.
Wild cards, I have Miami, the Jags, and even though they always start out slow, they always come on, the Bengals. Though I will tell you a couple of things in my mind. I'm still sticking with it because it's my inclination, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Bengals struggle a little bit or if Burrow gets hurt again, because I think I got a better offensive line around my house than Burrow's got for years. This poor guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't have Joe Mixon anymore. So they got to figure out a way to get a run game going of some kind. But the Bengals always seem to go on after the first few games. They always start slow. See, when I signed in, you can't see that, but they're telling me I'm almost out of time because I had to sign it a different way. All right. So I'll go try and wrap it up anyway. I have Miami, the Jags, and the Bengals, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Bengals are out, then the Chargers.
And I got the Dolphins, Bengals, and Colts as the wild cards.
Dolphins, Bengals, Colts. All right. It's telling me I got about 30 seconds, Bill, so I'm going to wrap it up. We got a quick pick. Just give me a shoot for tomorrow night.
I will take Buffalo across the board.
I'll take Miami across the board. So there you go, folks. That's it. We're going to get out of here. We got like 15 seconds. We want to thank Dennis again for helping us out from Violent Realty Corporation, 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland, 856-690-9482. For my pal Billy Smith, I'm John Harris. We're in the cheap seats. Enjoy the games this week, everybody. And we'll be back Friday for more picks. Done, it says. Let's see if it is done.